That's fine.
You need Joe to lift it like 6 times. We just need a little entertainment.
I am so glad to see you guys.
Yes.
Not only the young one, not the old one where she's like the burlesque dancer.
Was that?
Gypsy.
Yeah, but when you hear the term stage mom, oh my God, she was the quintessential stage mom.
Yeah.
Who is that?
Stage mom on
The mother from Gypsy.
Rosalind.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, she was, oh my God, she was hilarious.
Oh, I'm you again.
I don't know why they're doing that
Are
to
y'all
you.
back to full capacity or are a lot of people still zooming in?
A lot of
Jenny,
people.
can you cut your
I'm sorry. I'm trying to do this.
No time for socializing, Kim.
I know, you better.
Business.
Now, no one is online for me to check to see if people online can hear me, so.
I know you got the. Oh, no, I was, if I got it, I would. The burger. And this is fruit. And white means younger. So you get three. No, not the beginning. But just work wherever you want to step.
Okay. Hey, how are y'all?
I don't know. We are ordering new
We'll have all the. Absolutely.
Oh.
Just one.
Thank you.
Sam actually no longer with us. She works I know, she works with this, that's actually no, she took over her stand. She works for the city of Charlotte.
Yeah.
We're doing what she did here for the city of Charlotte. It's called Hello Charlotte.
Yeah,
So
I
she
don't
looks all their like festivals and company events.
Yeah.
She travels for business. Yeah, she's really happy. She actually said she applied for that job before she got this one, but the position wasn't open. And then.
Yeah.
So I know, I miss her so much. That's exactly how I feel.
So we tell you, Bo is.
He is awful. He's very. Yes.
I will make you.
Howdy.
Hey, there's.
Tara, can you hear me?
Yep. Well, yes. Now I can't.
Yes or no?
Yes.
Weird. Oh, yeah, we can't hear him over, okay. Oh, good times.
I couldn't hear you.
We can't hear Taylor through the speakers.
Boo.
Speakers need to be, oh, you know why? Because I'm not plugged in. It's my fault.
I'm gonna let you guys do that. I'm gonna, ladies room, Kevin, if I promise. I will be right back for you.
Okay.
So messy. All right, Taylor, can you say something?
I can say something. You gonna say more? La 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 la.
Does that matter? Oh, speaker's off?
Speaker should be USB.
That speaker's X too, Kelly. Is that? Okay.
Try it now, Taylor.
La 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 la.
Ken, it's a little better.
Try it again.
Hello? You hear me?
Yeah.
Giddy up.
All right, great. Thank you.
Yep.
Yeah.
God, stupid thing. I wish these things, this dumb thing. Hmm.
Mr. Hat's feeling frisky, huh?
He was just saying hi. He
Oh,
misses,
yeah.
he misses
Yeah.
you. So you need to come next time so that
I
you
know.
give him a good squeeze.
Very. Yes, sir. Got a presentation from the zoo.
Well, it gives you a wider spectrum of acoustics. And keeps people involved. Where's Taylor?
He is, he's at the office because Eric's coming, so.
Right, but I mean.
Ours is still.
Knocking on the door. Nobody's on the left.
You know, there's some technology out there that's a lot more. That travel international. They use. But. What circle?
Oh, that's why. Why I do.
Gotcha.
We're all set, Kevin.
Cool, thank you. It really does.
Were you in CC? Extended education. Even though the pandemic was here,
I'm not hugging anybody because I have a cold. I don't know COVID, but I have a cold. I'm not hugging anybody. Exactly right. Exactly.
Greetings, sir. And how are you? Well, we're good.
Bill is away hiking. He's figuring it out.
That's
How are you?
So many challenges.
Oh,
Now.
no, you're fine. You're fine.
It's just like.
No, you're fine. It's Lana. Lana, yes, yes.
I'm
You're
not
fine.
forgetting.
You're fine. Hello. Hi. Sweet tea?
No.
Yes, sir.
Yes, I got it. There it is. Back to the mic.
Do you know where you're at?
Oh, yeah, yeah, all of those are.
Hey, Tom. Envelopes are.
So it's here at the spread that around.
Run over and get your meal. You know, I have no, but Joy, how are y'all? So maybe
Walk there and I don't know if you want to spread them out or what.
How are you?
Yeah, he has one leg. You ride them well enough where you get to the seat.
The big one, Kelly, like.
Yeah, it's sort of hijack. Yeah, yeah, it's sort of hijack their displays, as long as we don't forget them. That's right. Right. Keep us all. It makes me even happier. Thank you again. Anywhere you want to, you have to sit over here. No, you're here for you. I see. Welcome. We've gone to hybrid meetings. We were fully virtual, of course, for a long time, so. Typically, maybe, it depends on the situation. We'll have between 6 and 8 people. Thank you. You don't have to make up. I've got to do what I work, and I don't think he cares, I don't think it matters what industry you want to sit with them, in order to see if you. Yeah. Yeah.
What's up?
Good to see you.
Nice to see you.
I'm so glad to. How you doing? Yeah. Is it? Man, it just feels like maybe a couple of months ago. This whole year has been.
How's it been? Right?
Yeah, it's been good. The club's pretty much staying healthy, and you know, we've been virtual. Yeah, so everything's technical issues every once in a while. It's been, you know, presence in the room, but then there's usually like 4 to 5 and people who aren't even marked up. So that's been great. So.
Well, our club, you know, we're down to about 5 or 6 active members.
Really?
And we're talking about this club, Impact Club, where you join another club, like we could possibly renew. the satellite sites and impact. But then we would, I'm not all for that. If we're going to do that, I'm going to go to another club. And Friday lunchtime is my
When is top of the week typically?
Monday morning, 7:30.
That's like
But we wouldn't do that anymore. We
Right.
just do projects and things like that.
Oh, yeah. Well, you
But
might
we
as
wouldn't
well,
have, you know.
I mean, you can join our club and still do projects. We do a lot of projects.
That's what maybe some of them want to do, but not the 8 active, not the 18 active.
Right.
They've been around for years anyway. So I don't know what.
Why do you think they're inactive? Do you think that, is it
No,
age? Is it just
No.
busyness? Is it?
Because one we haven't seen now for about 12 years.
Well, the record transfers dues to us, we'd be happy to take it. We'd love to have you guys. I mean, 'cause
Well,
we
some of
are-
them, there'll be about 5 this year.
That's great. Let me know what we can do, but it, this is super service oriented.
Oh, I know. It's a good club from that point of view. I'm still up in the end.
Yeah, well,
Nice to see you.
we hope you choose us.
Thank you. Well, some of them might. Some of them not.
I'm sorry.
Back in person, on and off, we put it on pause and not the virtual thing, so. Run James in Miles Elementary School, believe it or not, I was a student there in the sixties, first grade, sixth grade. And well, and I'm doubly proud of that because Regina was the former student of mine, and I taught it down for 16 years. So, yeah. I didn't realize that. You'll see her once you try behind her. Yeah, she's president of our club.
Okay, sit down and see if they can hear you.
Hey guys,
Hey. Taylor, how are you?
good yourself?
I'm good. Good
All
to
right.
see you.
I am so proud.
I think we got a packed crowd there.
I'm glad to hear that you all are I'm so proud. I really wish you all the best. It's very tough for these 2 years. This year.
I wonder what kind of crowd we had.
I think it's mainly it's some of our folks and then some of the first responder folks.
Yeah.
I think maybe I have some of their family members as well. Pretty decent crowd though.
I wanted to go, but I didn't want to go with this patch on my face.
I understand.
Next year, each school has at least this year.
Yeah.
Good afternoon, everyone. We have a really crowded room today, so everybody could, if I could get everyone's attention. Welcome to the Dilworth South End Rotary Club. I'm Kelly Cates, the president of the club this year. We welcome you. It's so great to see some new friends, some old friends, and our club members here. We're going to go ahead and get started and start with our invocation and pledge. And if I could ask Jim Stump to come on up. Do you know how to hold a microphone correctly? If not, I can be your mic stand.
I'll need someone to leave your instructions.
Okay, here, just stand here. You just let me know if you need help. Keep meaning to buy a mic stand, Kevin, and I keep forgetting.
No worries. Jim's a PDG. He knows how to use a mic.
But as they used to say, Kevin, the tongue is the last thing to go. Some of you are thinking about that, aren't you? This is a very special day, and we're delighted to have you all here with us. Our welcomes will be more official in just a few minutes, but I'd like for us to just sort of pause, disengage for just a little bit with the world that's around us, and let's think about a prayer for our first responders. For all first responders, police officers, firefighters, EMTs, and paramedics who we lean on in times of crisis and when we need help and protection. For all those who run toward danger for the sake of others, and for those who strengthen them, their families and loved ones during this rather stressful time in our nation and in our world. We offer this scripture in prayer for all first responders.
Keep going. You can use your big boy voice.
No, she's an optimist.
Thank you to be here.
Yes, we offer a scripture this morning and a prayer for all first responders who have been working tirelessly and selflessly and who meet each day with courage and with heart. This passage is from Isaiah 41:13. For I, the Lord your God, hold your right hand. It is I who say to you, fear not. I am the one who helps you. Almighty God, you lend your strength to all those who are there for us in times of crisis, fear, and hurt. You give courage to the first responders who continue to do this important work they are called to do, looking beyond the risk for the sake of those who need your help and protection. We give you thanks for the many ways they give of themselves, their skills, their knowledge, and their help in troubling times. Almighty God, protect them, extend your shielding hand over them, and comfort their hearts when they are tired and heartbroken. Dear God, we also lift prayers of thanksgiving and comfort for the families of first responders and all who support them. Give them hope, give them courage. Surround them with your loving presence and give them peace when their loved ones run toward uncertainty. All this we pray in your holy name. Amen.
We can all stand if you're able to. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, Kevin, if you could do our introductions of our many, many guests today, the informal introductions, please, and then we will move to announcements and then happy dollars.
Now, I am probably going to miss someone, so if I do, just raise your hand. We are just thrilled to have as many guests as we have here today, and I am going to start by introducing them. First of all, from the Charlotte-Mecklenburg Police Department, I'd like to introduce Captain Brett Balamucky, Lieutenant Joe Carey. That's very appropriate. Let's see, we've got Lieutenant, is it Dave Miller? Yeah, Dave Miller there. Dave Miller. We've got Dave Miller, is a great name. And we also have our honored recipient, Officer Gage Reese is here. Gage. Now I'm going to introduce the folks from our medic department. We've got, let's see. First of all, I'm going to introduce our recipient, Madison Kiger. Madison. And we've got Lester Oliva. We've got, let's see, I just have named Drew and Jackson here. I'm so sorry. Please. Thank you. We have some visiting Rotarians with us as well. We are happy to have, and some of these folks are not current Rotarians, but we welcome them anyway. We're honored to have Penn Castles here. He was formerly with the Charlotte West Club. We also have Hugh and Barbara Lewis from the Charlotte West Club joining us today. We're honored to have past District Governor David Hare with us. David from the Charlotte Top of the Week Club. Current President Franz Lorio from Top of the Week. We've got Doug McVaden here from Top of the Week. And we have Jan Donaldson here from Top of the Week. Jan, raise your hand. Is Hoppy here? Yes. Oh, there's Hoppy. All right, welcome. I didn't see you back there. Thank you. Thank you all for being here. And also, we have with us from the University of North Carolina at Charlotte, Judy, raise your hand, Judy Lakoski. We also have Paul DeJesse here. Paul, welcome. I think, Paul, you're with the local law firm, correct? Correct, super. All right, who did I miss? Wow, I don't believe it. Oh. You mean Gage?
I'm Gage. Sorry. Good evening.
Oh, yeah. These are my parents, and this is my wife, Catherine.
Awesome. Exactly.
Bob and Jennifer. I can remember Jennifer.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, Kevin.
All right, thank you, Kevin. Welcome, everybody. And Gus, it's great to see you, my friend. We're glad that you're up and about and logged on today. Can you hear us? Can you give me a thumbs up if you can hear us? All right, all right. I wore my hair long for you today, Gus. Gus is a hair man. He's a hair man, yeah. So Kevin, I don't even know why you sat down. Get back up here to do announcements. So if anyone has any announcements that they'd like to make, just raise your hand and we will pass the mic to you. But Kevin is always usually our announcement man.
That's me. Thank you, Kelly. Hang on for 1 second. Where to put my announcement?
You can yell it out.
Quesadilla and a burger.
Quesadilla and a burger. Who's missing a quesadilla and a burger? All right. Okay, first of all, just wanted to say, y'all might recall a wonderful presentation we had from Karen Steffens a couple of weeks ago. She's the district youth exchange and youth service chair. Karen briefed us up on the Rotary Youth Exchange program and gave us some good information on that. As a follow-up to that, we wanted to let you know that Jenny and I received a card from our outbound exchange student, Sofia Gaetano, who is going to Milan, Italy. She received a note from the daughter of her first host family, who has a sister, a daughter her age. So she is really stoked about that and looking forward to her exchange in Italy. We had a great turnout at Medicist this past Tuesday with Rotarians from Charlotte International and South Mech helping us out. We had a full complement of 8 people there. A big shout out once again to Howard Castleman, who was there to lend a hand. So Howard, always great to have you there. Thank you. We had a great turnout as well last Saturday for our quarterly street cleaning on East Boulevard. Many thanks to David Hodgkins for organizing this, as he always does, and to Howard Castleman, Alan Lozer, Charlie Seaman, and Dave Miller. And I really want to say how great it was to have Dave Miller participate in that. As you all know, he was in really bad health, and he's recovered from that fully. He was also at our Latta Park picnic the week before that, and it represented the first time he actually drove himself somewhere. So it was really, really great to see Dave at both of those places. Speaking of the Latta Park picnic, we had about 20 of us present. It was great. We had good weather. We also had an opportunity to meet Chris DeBerry. He's the staffer from Parks and Recs who takes care of our corner of Latta Park. And we asked him if we could possibly plant a tree there in honor and memory of our recently deceased member, Ernie Ryder. And Chris said absolutely it would be possible. So the board's going to take up that at our next meeting. We'll work with Parks and Rec to determine what kind of tree will best complement what's already there, and we will get that done. And just quickly, I attended zone training in Glen Allen, Virginia last week, received some very helpful information on membership, the Rotary Foundation, and public image matters. There's this thing called Discover Rotary that I'm really excited about. I'm going to try to convince the next president to see if we can introduce Discover Rotary meetings, just make them a part of our process as well. This is where we invite in people who are not Rotarians and just give them the spiel. There's a virtual meeting opportunity next Wednesday being hosted by the Rotary Club of Ukraine. The announcement just came out today, but the club president there in Kiev is going to host the meeting, and we will receive an on-the-ground update from Rotarians on their situation and their needs. So it will be very timely. That's going to be Wednesday at 12 o'clock. You do have to register for that though. 12 o'clock noon. Yeah. No. There is a big time difference, but they're doing it at a time that's convenient for us. So we appreciate that. I also wanted to say we thankfully, Joy advised us that Dilworth Charities received their letter of affirmation for our 501c3 This, yes. Now, we've been a 501c3 since 2006, 2007, but Joy requested that letter in March of 2020. So we just got it last week. That will give us an opportunity to update our website and update our seal of transparency with GuideStar. So we're excited about being able to do that. Finally, I just want to say, take just 1 second. You know, we're honoring our first responders here today. They just do remarkable work. I want us also to just take a minute to reflect on what happened in Uvalde, Texas a few days ago. These aren't just other people's kids that we're talking about. These are our children. These are all our children. And if we could just take a minute to remember them, I would be very grateful. Thank you all. And I want to thank our guests for being here as well.
I also just want to thank everyone who came out to the Peace Picnic. Was it 2 weeks ago?
Yeah, May 15th.
May 15th. Yeah, I had a broken back, so I appreciated everyone who came out and helped move things around. So it was a scorcher though.
400 Afghan.
400 Afghan refugees?
Yes.
Was it 60 families or just, I don't know how we broke them down into families. Yeah.
Yeah, 400.
Yeah, it was a very interesting and enlightening event, and I'm very glad that we were there. So, so we are now moving on to Happy Dollars. For those of you guys who are not members of our club, this is Mr. Hat, so lovingly named by Taylor, who you can see on screen. Give a wave. Taylor drives Mr. Hat's personality in our newsletter every week. And we put money in Mr. Hat to give thanks. And so I'm going to go around with the camera and Mr. Hat. And if you have, if you want to contribute $1, $2, however much, you can get the microphone and give us a little update as to why you're happy today.
Can you ask Taylor to put the QR code up too?
Yes, in the chat?
No, if you can just put it up there. Can you share?
Oh, well, it's on the tables.
But I'm talking about for the people on Zoom too.
Oh, it's just him and Gus.
Oh, okay, never mind.
Gus, you gonna use a QR code, Gus?
Yeah, so we do have the QR codes available too.
All right, so.
Who's happy?
All right, who's happy? Just raise your hand. We'll start with Jim.
Happy to welcome our friends from Charlotte West and Copperwood.
Thank you, Judy.
Thank you. It's my pleasure to be here, and I'm happy because the club continues to support our students at UNC Charlotte. And my other happy dollar is to recognize all of our servicemen and women on this Memorial Day weekend.
Thank you.
Who's happy?
Happy for many reasons. Happy for this organization. Who's out there doing good stuff. First responders, putting on the line every day. All happiness and great weather.
Thank you. Thank you.
Just so for y'all being here and letting us.
Oh, you guys are all the money. You're here every week anyway. You have your names on our.
Happy to be able to make it.
We're happy to see you.
Are you fully staffed?
No. And somebody's on PTO.
Kelly, we. Oh.
Happy for my younger daughter, Whitney. She's a senior twice at King High School. They won their round 4 of the state playoffs. And
what?
It's soccer.
Soccer, okay.
Everybody knows I'm talking about soccer. So I love it. They're moving all the Western.
So we've got 10, 2, 1 at the meeting. It's always time to use.
Well, I'm also happy to
was huge. This life is really good. And this room took up several years. This room. And also, that would have all the first responders. So I really appreciate it.
Big into recycling.
Hello, everybody. Thank you for having us. Well, our table is really happy to be here. We really like it when people remember us. It's easy to remember us when you're having a heart attack or a stroke. But we appreciate you all. We happy moments. Thank you. Thank you. Appreciate it.
And please give way on the roads when they are coming back. Roll over and stop. That's my public service announcement for the day, kids.
$11 last weekend. I went down to Florida, saw my grandson at St. Louis High School. He was about Victoria, and yeah, and he's going to Alabama. And as my daughter said, you know, it's great if education is paid for. Now all I got to do is come up with $15,500 for his room.
Per year. Per year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's going to be a lawyer.
Oh, there you go. He's covered.
Well, we'll forgive him the Alabama. And I'm gonna put in happy dollars. Here, I'll turn this on myself. Give myself a selfie. I'm gonna give in happy dollars because today is my husband's 50th birthday, and he's still a child. He just made it home from Switzerland after being at the World Economic Forum, and he didn't get sick.
Awesome.
So,
Awesome.
even though we interviewed like Woody Harrelson, I thought for sure he'd be carrying COVID.
Just to say thank you for hosting us today, all the members of the top of the week, and it's great to see you for the first time in probably 3 years.
Yeah.
And a special thank you to all our first responders, wherever they are. Thanks very much.
It always sounds like Steve from David. You're very posh, you're very posh.
I just wanted to say thank you to all of you for being here today. It's a pleasure and an honor to have you here, especially our first responders. I have a special place in my heart for first responders since my son and my daughter-in-law are both with the CMPD, and they will always be first in my heart. So thank you all again.
I think we keep this. We're done.
Let me
entertain you.
Yes, and I'm going to do the QR code thing too, so.
Oh yeah, I forgot to say that. If you didn't bring cash, you can always use the QR code that Jenny made us.
Yes.
Set this
These are
up.
on your tables too, by the way. You can just take a picture of it. It'll take you to your to the PayPal site, and you can make a contribution that way. All righty.
I'm gonna readjust.
Okay. Should I? Yeah.
Nope, you're good.
Spot. Okay. All right. Hey, folks, this is really a special day. We are so honored to be able to have this day once again. We had a hiatus of a couple of years due to COVID, but we're back and we're happy to announce that we're going to be recognizing 2 first responders today. We called this our first responder award, the Lamar Gunter First Responder Award, and it's named in honor of a longtime Rotarian. Lamar Gunter was a veteran of the United States Army with a background in counterintelligence. He had a passion for journalism, earning a BA in that discipline from the University of Georgia. And he had an unyielding admiration for all first responders. He, in fact, started our first responder program in 2016, I believe. Lamar was a member of this Dilworth Club for 38 years. He was named Distinguished Rotarian in 2006, and not only served his country, he served the public, and most certainly this club, with honor and distinction. In recognition of that service, he was unanimously supported for honorary membership into our club in November 2019. He unfortunately passed away a couple of years ago after relocating to Milledgeville, Georgia, and was only recently interred at a local cemetery here next to his wife and daughter. And that was delayed because of COVID, of course. We we have, as I said, 2 recipients for the Lamar Gunter First Responder Award. The first.
Sorry, just got rid of our Zoom.
Oh, sorry.
You're fine. There you go.
Oh. Our first honoree is Officer Gage Reese of the Charlotte-Mecklenburg Central Division. This nomination arose from a submission by Lieutenant Joseph Carey of the CMPD and reads as follows. I nominate Officer Gage Reese for the Rotary First Responder Award. In October 2021, Officer Reese responded to a 911 call for service regarding a suicide threat. There was a female who was locked inside the bedroom of her apartment, and the apartment was several floors above street level. Officer Reese heard a commotion inside the room, and he kicked the door of the bedroom open. The female was sitting on the window ledge, and Officer Reese was able to pull her to safety and prevent injury or possibly death. Just 3 months later, he responded to a 911 call for service where a male victim had been shot. Officer Reese recognized the seriousness of the victim's injuries, and he placed the victim in the back of a patrol car while another officer drove them to the hospital. Officer Reese rode in the back seat of the patrol car and tended to the victim's injuries during transport to the hospital. I believe Officer Reese is deserving of the Rotary First Responder Award for outstanding actions in saving the lives of 2 people in a short 3-month time frame. So I'm going to now ask Officer Gage Reese to come forward.
Officer Reese, this is in honor of you. Jesus, you call.
Holy mackerel. Yeah, that's true. I don't have my heels on.
Actually, can you guys scoot forward just a little bit? Or you're gonna have like a dot on your head.
All right. Kelly,
How about I just go over here?
that's good. There we go.
Yeah, he's
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
That's all it
Hey, before you, we also want to give you this check for $500 on behalf of our club. And this is a Rotary Hero pin that we encourage you to wear. We just thank you so much for your service, not just in this situation, but every day you are out there on the street protecting people like me. We are very grateful, sir.
Thank you for your service.
And now, wait a second here. The next recipient is paramedic Madison Kiger of the Mecklenburg County Medic EMS. This nomination was submitted by Public Information Specialist and paramedic Lester Oliva and reads as follows. Paramedic Madison Kiger has been with the Mecklenburg EMS agency for over 5 years. In this time frame, she has expanded her life-saving skills. She first started as an EMT in which she was partnered with a seasoned paramedic. In those early years, she went back to school to expand her knowledge and skill set to become a full-fledged paramedic. Madison is known by her peers to be an advocate for her patients and a shoulder to lean on when having difficult days. In the last year, she has been promoted to the crew chief role. In this position, she is the lead paramedic on one of our ambulance units. It's also of note that she underwent this process during the height of the COVID-19 pandemic. During her time as crew chief, she has had several patients who required life-saving interventions, one of which she had the pleasure of reuniting with after she and her partner gave him another chance at life after suffering from cardiac arrest. Just recently, Madison was the lead paramedic when one of our Mecklenburg County deputy sheriffs was shot during a traffic stop. She was poised under pressure, and the care that she provided contributed to his survival. Besides her life-saving skill, Madison spends her time off baking, exercising, and hiking. She is a valuable asset to our agency and to our community, and is well deserving of this honor. Lester, we completely agree. I just want to say one more thing to you about EMTs. You guys have a special place in my heart as well. When my wife was unable to walk, you guys came to our house, not you guys, but the guys from Pineville, EMT did, and you carried her down some stairs and got her to the hospital. She had an infected leg, and I am so grateful for your service. So, yeah, Madison, come on down.
What do you need me to take?
We've got an expert out here now. On behalf of our club, thank you so much. Thank you. Please. I like this one better because I'm actually taller than she is.
That's why I nominated her.
Well, look at my partner, we did very odd work.
I gotta say, before she leaves, I wanna recognize that our sister club, the Charlotte North Club, recognized 5 first responders a few weeks ago. Madison was the recipient of their award as well. So this is just our.
But wait, there's more. So when we named this after Lamar, we wanted to make sure that we not only honored the first responders that are here today doing the things that most of us don't want to do. We wanted to ensure that I stayed on the Zoom screen.
So high maintenance.
You can't, that's my problem. I
can't take it anywhere.
usually the things I touch don't respond, so.
Moving on.
Moving on. You knew I was gonna get a humor moment in here, right? I want to say that one of the things that we have done is that we wanted to tie in this award with those folks who want to become first responders. So in honor of Lamar and in honor of our current first responders, we started a program with the University of North Carolina at Charlotte to endow a scholarship named in honor of our founder, a guy by the name of Woodford Kennedy. We've been working with Judy Lakoski at UNCC and their scholarship office to establish that program. So every year, in addition to this, we award a $1,000 scholarship to people who are studying first responder curricula at UNCC. And we are so honored to have Judy here today to join us. Before we do that, I want to share a little bit of history about Woodford Kennedy because he's another connection with us to UNCC. As I mentioned, Woodford was our first president here at the Charlotte South End Club, Dilworth South End Club, when we were chartered in 1948. He was born in 1895 and later attended the NC College of Agriculture and Mechanic Arts, now known as NC State University. Kennedy would go on to serve honorably as an officer in World War I. He actually met his wife and married her in France, and they came back here after the war ended. He opened a textile company after the war. He was issued several patents for engineering improvements in the company's machinery, and he joined Rotary in the mid-1940s. He later sought permission to establish a Rotary Club in the Dilworth area, which was granted, and we were chartered again in 1948. Kennedy did one more thing. He understood the importance of having a four-year college in Charlotte, and he lobbied city and state leaders tirelessly to make Charlotte College, then a two-year college, a four-year institution. And although he never lived to see this happen, there is no doubt that Woody laid the groundwork for this when UNC Charlotte was officially born in the 1960s. The IT building on the UNC campus now is named in honor of Woodford Kennedy. And so to honor that relationship, we decided to further honor our first responders by endowing this scholarship for students majoring in first responder curricula. So without any further ado, I'd like to introduce Judy Lakowski. Judy is going to share with you the letter that was written by our scholarship recipient this year who could not be here because he's working. So Judy.
Get right here. Okay, there we go.
See, I'm an old pro at this, so.
This was part of the application process. So this is the letter that he wrote. My name is Charles Lineberger, and I wanted to thank you for awarding me the Dilworth Rotary W.A. Kennedy Scholarship. I come from Gastonia, North Carolina, having completed high school at Highland School of Technology. Both of my parents have completed their four-year degrees at college as well, so I'm trying to follow in their paths. I choose to study criminal justice and psychology at UNC Charlotte because it had one of the best criminal justice departments in the state. I also wanted to attend a smaller university, and I know that UNC Charlotte is definitely not small, but when I visited the campus, I found that it felt like a smaller college. All the buildings were close together and it didn't have the same feel as the larger campus colleges. Here at UNC Charlotte, I am part of Psi Chi, the International Honor Society in Psychology, and the National Society of Collegiate Scholars. I have interest also in playing tennis and participating in outdoor activities. I am very excited that you have decided to support me in my academic endeavors in obtaining my degree. Criminal justice is such an important field of study because it affects so many aspects of people's lives. It keeps people safe and secure while providing the order and normality that is needed for simple everyday activities like buying something at the store. The Dilworth Rotary W.A. Kennedy Scholarship that I have been selected for will help me to finish my schooling here at UNC Charlotte. After I get my degree, I plan on joining law enforcement and working my way up to the federal level of law enforcement. There I can tackle problems that affect large amounts of people and be a part of protecting some of the most important parts of our country. Thank you again for the Dilworth Rotary W.A. Kennedy Scholarship, which I will use to aid me in achieving my academic goals so that I can go on to help others as you have helped me. Sincerely, Charles Lineberger, UNC Charlotte, class of 2023. And I want to thank the club again for their support. You know, about 75% of our students who come to UNC Charlotte get some sort of financial aid. And out of that, about 25% have no help from parents or any other sources. So these scholarships are really important. And on behalf of our students, I thank you.
Thank you. So that's the program, folks. We are honored again to have you all here. We're honored to be able to do this one more time. We love our first responders. We love UNCC. We're going to continue to do this. I think we just approved a continuation of the scholarship program, or if not, we will. So be it.
Make it so, number.
Does anyone have any questions or comments? We've got our first responders here. Does anyone have a burning question they may have of our first responders?
If it's burning, then they can't see.
Yeah.
I don't have one experience. Goes back to December, my wife had atrial fibrillation. One occasion, another night, said, "Need to go to the hospital." So I took her. It was not very easy getting, much easier getting her and getting me. I had to sit out call, didn't it? When you sit outside, it's cold, it's December. So the next time, 2 weeks, 2 or 3 weeks later, she had a son coming. This is a much, you know. So it's, you know, she said, "We got to go to the hospital." So I immediately took my phone and called get my artificial leg on, I can knock on the door and knock on the window. I couldn't believe it. But more important, when they got there, they were so kind. And took such good care. Well, she couldn't be, I couldn't, she couldn't appreciate it. It was just, they were so sensitive to her needs. They took care of everything. She felt so much better. When she got in hospital, she didn't do it. So, different when I take, you know, you got to go through some mental process. But again, thank you so much. We really appreciate it.
I actually have a question for both groups, especially, you know, with all the mental illness, you know, the rampant mental, undiagnosed mental illness in our city. What kind of training do you all get on diffusing situations? I mean, obviously you have to have a heart for this in order to, kindness doesn't, it's hard to say kindness, right? But like, what kind of training helps you guys back it up, especially in these kind of crazy situations where you have someone who is trying to take their own life? And that's a pretty serious, you know, situation. Anybody raise your hand?
So what we do.
You gotta eat that mic.
I say go first of all. Yeah. So I'll be honest, it is lacking for the need that we currently have for mental health care. The training that we do receive is so we try to supplement that. So in EMT courses and paramedic courses, there is a study that they are providing for mental health crises, how to manage de-escalation, threat mitigation, so realizing on some of these themselves or others on de-escalation. But then we supplement that annually. We do annual training that we provide into our education. I'll be honest, the biggest factor is local resources. The gentlemen, they the same questions that we do together and needs. That is what we struggle with. We have emergency rooms available to us, but not enough mental health resources available. Really limited. It's very limited. So what we continually find is the need of the public.
Is that a city function or a county function or?
I would say it's both, and it's the combined healthcare system. Now, I would agree, everyone does the absolute best they can, but it does seem to be over the past, I'd say 10 years, that seems to really have grown, the need for external mental health.
I would say, I'm an officer.
You don't want them to fall asleep.
So, I don't know if the officers agree, but like anything in being a first responder, you can worry about it all you want in the book, but very different when it comes to it. And mental illness has such an enormous range that you have to learn it by doing it. And you're gonna mess up and you're gonna, you know, say the wrong thing sometimes, but then you'll know for next time. And that's honestly how I've learned the best to help people with in the mental health crisis. I know we've all made mistakes, but we learn from them, and that's how I do it. So,
no, I was just gonna say, we do, I think medic and police have a very good relationship with each other. So police isn't doing it. Medic always has our back and they can always help us out with any mental health issue we have. I think we get a lot of good training in the academy, especially in Central Division where there's a high population of people with mental health issues. I think we try our best and do what we can with the little resources we have.
Sounds like resources are a big critical issue. You're pointing. You're like, give it to him, give it to him.
He's involved. First off, I just want to say thank you again for everybody. It really goes a long way, not only for them, but for the whole division. When they see that they're being recognized and that the work and sacrifices they make are being highlighted, it really makes them driven to do it. As we talk about mental health, one of the things we see uptown is so many people in the unhoused community, in the different, with having all the shelters and jail and everything right there. When they walk out of jail, they're uptown, and now they're suffering from addictions or mental health issues. So, the department does a community policing crisis response team, where it's a team specifically of a clinician partnered with a police officer. And they go to those calls, so you have a professional clinician with an officer. And as they do that, the officers start to learn tips and tricks and how to be, how to express more compassion when you're meeting people at their worst time. And I know the city's looking at a new program that's going to allow us to partner, I think, with a medic, with a clinician, and there're going to be some fire mixed in, and just looking for ways to not tie up maybe a patrol officer with somebody who's just in a crisis but isn't a threat to themselves or other people, sleeping on a bench or something like that. But it's something that I think the city's trying to do their best as that grows. But it is something that we're really putting a high priority on, because we see it over and over again. As we talk about, Marshall Reese, as when Lieutenant Carey wrote his life-saving stuff that he had done, after that had happened, they were dealing with a guy over here at one of the nightclubs who started firing rounds at another subject in the car. And then as they approached him, he turned and fired upon Officer Reese and 5 other officers. And he was able to go towards them and take him into custody without needing to use deadly force. So, that was something that we missed earlier on. But as we started to look at the totality of that, you add the alcohol with maybe some mental illness, you just have a lot of volatile situations. And I'm really proud of the work that, the first responders, the fire medic and police and the clinicians that put themselves out there, and the residents that are willing to step in and try to help people. And hey, what can I do to help? And engaging us with conversations like today to figure out, hey, where are some of the gaps that maybe we can backfill? But it's something that I think that it's not going to go away, and it's something that we're going to have to, as a group, continue to try to fight and struggle through. But thank you again for having everybody here. If anybody's got any specific questions, Lieutenant Carey, love to answer. Like I said, the mental health drives it all. When you work uptown, you see that probably 80% of our arrests are all related to some kind of mental illness or somebody in crisis of addiction. So it's a very vicious cycle, and it's a cycle that's not easy to solve. But I think, these conversations like today, and with some of the things that we're deliberately doing, we're trying to do the best to give people the help they can get. But thank all of you, and thank the families and, the parents for allowing them to do these type of jobs. Not easy. I'll share a personal story. Officer Reese was, looking at options of a different department and different things, in policing, because sometimes you can just kind of get tired of the same thing over and over again, and that wear on your family and the sacrifice. And, hey, maybe I should go work for a smaller department where I won't have all this drama every day. And we were very lucky that, after he thought about it and had a discussion with his family, he decided to stay with us. And, that's a huge plus for the citizens of Charlotte, because there's not a night that he's not giving it all. And I think that, without that family and community support, it's very easy for these young officers and young first responders or seasoned responders to just say, what, I'm done. I'm just going to go do a 9-to-5 job and not put up with this. And again, really appreciate it.
I think you probably feel the exact same way.
Captain, thank you for those remarks, and thank all of us for the comments that you've made. One of the things that you don't hear a lot of is, obviously you hear a lot about when things go bad with police shootings and things of that nature. You always hear a lot of it, but so many times officers are placed in positions like the one you just described, where Officer Reese and other officers were subjected to gunfire. And they resolved the situation without the return of fire, which they would be absolutely legally entitled to do. But that shows where police officers heads are and where their hearts are. They have to go home, they have to live with the results of their actions. So on behalf of a very grateful community, I say thank you for those things we don't know about, but that you continue to do every single day.
I also trouble you to get from the educational perspective, what are you and UNCC doing in your curriculum to support this kind of change in in the way that oh my gosh, it's Friday, y'all. In the way that officers approach folks to diffuse situations. Thank you for being gracious. Just let me ramble.
We have our police force on campus that works with CMPD, and especially after we had the shooting on campus. I think our student body, the entire campus, certainly has appreciation for our first responders there. They were quick, as were everybody else in the community. The biggest support that we have for our students when they talk about mental health is we have our counseling center. But again, when you talk about resources, there's just not enough resources there too. I mean, they try to do what they can on campus and try to get appointments on campus, but it sounds like it is one of those issues that just, kind of universal these days, but that's what we try to do, to make those resources available to students if they need them.
And are you training, is your curriculum for first responders, does it now include, I heard our recipient is doing also a psychology minor major. So is that something that you're training our next generation law enforcement?
I don't teach. So I don't know. I raise money for that. But I mean, I'm sure there are many people like our recipient who are doing that course of majors. But unfortunately, next year I'll be prepared.
Sounds like we need as much training and support for people who would go with you with this new program, counselors, and who are those people and where do they come from? And we need them on college campuses, we need them with police force, we need them to go to all kinds of first responders. What programs are available? Where are all those people coming from?
Are they social workers or?
Usually they're clinicians that, I don't know specifically what they do as far as to get that, clinician rating, but I know that many times they're already in the healthcare business and they go into psychology and they're figuring out solutions because we can't arrest our way out of those issues. Like we can lock those people up and then they're not going to get better unless there's some sort of mental care. And when they get out, they continue to reoffend.
You have a problem finding clinicians.
That's tricky, right? Just like with medic, you see people at their worst and at their worst day. So I think that if I can be a clinician and do my work from Zoom and get the same pay as I can of going onto the street where I've got a guy spitting at me and screaming at me, which one are you going to pick? You got to have a passion to really want to get out into the road and help people. So I think it is a challenge. I do know that they cycle through quickly. So I'll see one, and 3 months later, there's a new one, or there's a new 5 or 6, because I think they get that experience. And again, they get the experience and they move on to something else, hopefully up in their organization so that they can develop their own replacements, because we're all having an expiration date. And it's just trying to just make sure that, we're training and doing the best we can so that we can provide the best service to them and keep everyone safe, including themselves and us.
Has CPD ever, the sheriff's department, ever thought about having like a hybrid officer? So, you have to want to go to the academy and put yourself in harm's way. So could you take someone and give them a dual track so that they are learning to be a clinician as well, so that you're not necessarily bringing, a straight clinician in who ends up being scared to death and quitting. So
I think that's a great idea.
Thanks,
I-
I'll charge you for it.
Yeah. I think it's a great idea, and I think that part of that is that the amount of exposure that road officers get with that situation, sometimes they may not have the degree, but just like medic, I've seen medic calm people down that the best clinician in the world wouldn't have made because of just experience. So I think that that's something that we could definitely look at. I'm excited to see where these programs are going to take us on who the right fit is, try to help with that. Because as you deal with mental health issues with people every day, you got to remember we're all human. So, you know, those officers that are being subjected to that vicarious trauma of person shot, person stabbed, you know, they didn't get mentioned in the write-up from Lieutenant Carey, but, you know, Officer Reese applied tourniquets to the guy who was shot and was able to save his life by that. Now you're leaving the backseat of the car and you're covered in someone else's blood. That has an effect, right? And so I think anytime internally or externally, we can try to and make improvements and come up with better ways to treat themselves and everything, it's going to be a plus for the city.
Just gonna have a follow-up with that. Having been a branch manager at the First Citizens Uptown and talking to the recent branch manager who's left in the last 2 years, he said that also because of the pandemic, most of the walk-in traffic in our buildings uptown were the homeless. Have you thought about, or is there anything that's gone on about helping to cross-train potential business employees up there? I know they walked in all the time.
That's a great idea too. You
Yeah.
can charge them for that as well.
Yeah.
We'll just run you a tab.
Yeah. I think like anything, right? When you're exposed, you have a job that you're exposed to people that are in crisis or have emotional issues, you know, any kind of training. I don't know whether private companies would want to send their people for that training, but I guess if they have a door person, a lot of times their security person or somebody there, it always helps to kind of identify, hey, this person's in crisis, let me make a phone call, so that then that activates EMS, right? So they're not trying to deal with them if they're in the middle of some sort of a crisis. But I think the more people that can kind of recognize that behavior, it helps us identify it quicker, that we can try the first solution. I think that that's a great idea, you know, for if somebody wants to take that step and do. Yeah.
Yeah, actually, when I was at Child Family Services Center, Child's Place, we actually had a CMPD officer come and train our entire building on active shooter. So I mean, I could totally see that, like a lunch and learn, where you would come and learn just the initial phases of de-escalation or moving someone on. So
You got an expert right over there. She's loud and ready to go.
Well, if we could just please give all of our first responders a big round of applause. And why don't we just remain standing to do our 5-way test? For those of you who are not Rotarians, and who even are Rotarians, but you don't have a fit. Yes, please, please, put your large change into the blue cart button.
Do the raffle too.
Well, okay, yeah,
Yeah, we should probably do the.
Oh, man, raffle. I always forget these things. All right, so, let's see, who should we have?
I think we should have our guests here.
Which one?
Up here. This is a woman who was at Latta Park. So we're so happy to see her. Thank you. We're gonna do this.
No.
Okay, she can do it. She's qualified.
This is Arlene.
Arlene, thank you.
We met Arlene when she just dropped by our picnic the other day and wanted to know what we were doing, and now she's here. So we're happy to see her. All right, so we're gonna read out the last 4. You see that? 9152. Oh! All right, and if, for Alzheimer's research, if you could just put your point and spare change into the blue buckets, pass them forward, and now, Kevin, may we do the
Five-way test.
You may proceed.
I may proceed. All right, of all the things we think, say, or do, first, is it the truth? Second, is it fair to all concerned? Third, will it build goodwill and better friendships? Fourth, will it be beneficial to all concerned? And for Dilworth Rotary, fifth, will it be fun? So thank you, everybody, for being here. It was great seeing everybody. Have a great weekend. Gus, great to see you, Taylor. See you soon, brother.